The air in the bustling Chicago airport hung thick with the scent of stale coffee and hurried goodbyes. A low hum of rolling suitcases and echoing announcements formed the soundtrack to the everyday drama of arrivals and departures. In the midst of this orchestrated chaos, a woman with hair the color of freshly fallen snow and eyes that held the sharp glint of ice approached a man whose presence seemed to subtly command the very air around him. Despite his attempts at casual anonymity in a baseball cap and sunglasses, he was instantly recognizable, even in disguise. The easy smile that had once captivated a nation still played at the corner of his lips as he spoke to a young airport employee, his voice a familiar, comforting baritone. The woman, however, seemed oblivious to the almost palpable aura of history and influence surrounding him. She walked with a determined stride, her face set in a tight, almost angry line. Reaching him just as he concluded his conversation, she tapped him sharply on the shoulder. He turned, his smile faltering slightly as he met her gaze. "Excuse me," she began, her voice surprisingly loud in the crowded terminal, laced with an unmistakable edge. "Are you even from his country?" Barack Obama, former President of the United States, blinked once, a flicker of something unreadable crossing his features. The young airport employee, who had been beaming moments before, suddenly looked down at her shoes, a blush creeping up her neck. The woman continued, her voice rising, drawing the attention of a few nearby travelers who began to slow down, their conversations dying in their throats. "Because if you're not, you should just go back to where you came from." A hush fell over the immediate vicinity. The hum of the airport seemed to dim, replaced by a stunned silence. Barack Obama stood there, a man who had once held the highest office in the land, a symbol of hope and change for millions, being told to go back to his country. The woman, emboldened by the sudden attention, pressed on. "This is our country. You people, you don't belong here." The words hung in the air, heavy and toxic. It was a scene ripped from the darkest corners of history, a stark reminder of the insidious undercurrents that still simmered beneath the surface of American society. But this wasn't some anonymous figure in a grainy photograph from the past. This was Barack Hussein Obama, the first African-American president, standing in an American airport in 2025, being subjected to a blatant act of racial prejudice. What happened next was not a fiery confrontation, nor a public outcry. What happened next was a masterclass in grace and composure, a testament to the enduring strength of a man who had faced down far greater challenges with dignity and intellect. Obama simply looked at the woman, his expression calm, almost pitying. He removed his sunglasses, his eyes, though tinged with a hint of sadness, held no anger. "Ma'am," he said, his voice quiet but carrying, cutting through the stunned silence. "I was born in Honolulu, Hawaii. That's part of the United States of America." The woman scoffed, her face contorted in disbelief. "Hawaii? That's not the real America." A ripple of murmurs went through the small crowd that had gathered. A few people exchanged uneasy glances. Obama remained unfazed. "With all due respect, ma'am, Hawaii has been a U.S. territory since 1898 and became a state in 1959. I hold an American birth certificate. My daughters were born in Chicago. My wife is from the South Side. We are as American as anyone else." The woman's face flushed a deeper shade of red. She seemed momentarily taken aback by his calm and factual response. But her prejudice ran deep, a stubborn weed refusing to be uprooted by logic. "That doesn't matter," she spat out, her voice regaining its venomous edge. You're not one of us." This time, a collective sigh seemed to pass through the onlookers. The young airport employee finally found her voice, albeit trembling slightly. "Ma'am, this is Mr. Obama. He used to be the president." The woman's eyes widened slightly, a flicker of recognition, but it was quickly replaced by a hardened resolve. President or not, he should still go back to his own country. Obama sighed inwardly. He had hoped that the progress he represented, the years he had spent in service to the nation, would have eroded such deeply ingrained biases. But he knew better. He had seen this kind of ignorance before, felt its sting throughout his life. Instead of engaging in a fruitless argument, he decided to take a different approach. He looked directly at the woman, his gaze steady and unwavering. "Ma'am," he said again, his voice softer this time, tinged with a hint of weariness. "What exactly do you mean by your country?" The woman hesitated, her initial aggression faltering slightly under his direct gaze. "This country, America, the white man's country." The words hung in the air, stark and ugly. A young man in the crowd audibly gasped. Obama nodded slowly, his expression thoughtful. "So, you believe that America belongs solely to white people?" "Yes," she declared, her voice filled with a chilling conviction. Obama paused, allowing his words to sink in. "Then what about the Native Americans, the indigenous people who were here long before any of us?" The woman's face twisted in annoyance. "They don't count." Obama's eyebrows rose slightly. "They don't count? They were the original inhabitants of this land. Doesn't that make it their country more than anyone else's?" The woman sputtered, unable to formulate a coherent response. Obama continued, his voice gaining a gentle but firm tone. "And what about the millions of immigrants who have come to this country from all corners of the world, contributing their skills, their cultures, their dreams to the fabric of American society? Do they not belong here either?" He gestured around the airport terminal, at the diverse array of faces hurrying by. "Look around you, ma'am. This is America. It's a melting pot, a tapestry woven from different threads, different colors, different backgrounds. That's what makes this country unique, its diversity, its openness to people from all walks of life." The woman remained stubbornly silent, her arms crossed, her face still etched with disapproval. Obama sighed again, a deeper, more profound sigh this time. "You know, ma'am, I took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States. That Constitution guarantees equal protection under the law to all citizens, regardless of their race, their religion, their origin. It doesn't say anything about America belonging to one particular group of people." He paused, his gaze sweeping over the onlookers, many of whom were now recording the exchange on their phones. "The ideals upon which this nation was founded, liberty, equality, justice for all, those are not just words on paper. They are aspirations that we must constantly strive towards. And that means recognizing the inherent dignity and worth of every single person, regardless of the color of their skin." He turned back to the woman, his eyes filled with a quiet sadness. "Telling someone to go back to their country simply because of their race, that's not just hurtful, it's fundamentally un-American." The woman still didn't respond, her face a mask of stubborn resistance. Obama knew he wasn't going to change her mind in that moment. But perhaps, he thought, his words might reach someone else, someone who was listening, someone who was open to a different perspective. He put his sunglasses back on, a weary but resolute expression on his face. "Have a good day, ma'am," he said, his voice calm and even. He then turned to the young airport employee, offering her a small, reassuring smile. "Thank you for your help." As he walked away, a few people in the crowd started to applaud softly. Others simply watched him go, their faces reflecting a mixture of shock, sadness, and perhaps a renewed sense of purpose. The woman stood there for a few more moments, her face still flushed, before finally turning and walking in the opposite direction, disappearing into the throng of travelers. The incident, brief as it was, left an indelible mark on those who witnessed it. It was a stark reminder that even in the 21st century, even after the election of the first African-American president, the insidious poison of racism still lingered in the hearts of some. But it was also a testament to the enduring power of grace, dignity, and reasoned argument in the face of prejudice. Barack Obama, without raising his voice or resorting to anger, had exposed the ignorance and hatefulness of the woman's words, not just through his own eloquence, but through the simple truth of his existence. The video of the encounter, inevitably captured and shared across social media, went viral within hours. The hashtag #ThisIsMyCountry trended worldwide. The comment section was flooded with reactions, ranging from outrage and disgust to admiration and support for Obama. Many reflected on the incident, questioning their own biases, their own assumptions about who belongs and who doesn't. Some shared their own experiences of being told to go back to where they came from, highlighting the pervasive nature of the problem. Others praised Obama's calm and measured response, recognizing it as a powerful lesson in how to confront hate without succumbing to it. They saw in his reaction a model for how to engage in difficult conversations, how to stand up for what is right without resorting to anger or aggression. The incident also sparked a renewed conversation about the meaning of American identity. What does it truly mean to be an American? Is it a matter of skin color or birthplace? Or is it about shared values, a commitment to the ideals of liberty and equality, and a willingness to embrace the diversity that makes the nation so vibrant and unique? The woman's words, intended to demean and exclude, ultimately served to ignite a broader discussion about inclusion and belonging. They forced people to confront the uncomfortable truth that prejudice still exists and to consider what they can do to challenge it. And in the quiet dignity of Barack Obama's response, many found a renewed sense of hope. Hope that through reasoned dialogue, through empathy and understanding, it is possible to bridge the divides that still threaten to tear the nation apart. Hope that even in the face of blatant hate, the ideals of equality and justice can still prevail. Now, I want to hear from you. What were your thoughts and feelings as you watched this story unfold? Have you ever witnessed or experienced something similar? Share your experiences and perspectives in the comments below. Let's continue this important conversation and work together to build a more inclusive and understanding society. If this story resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Your engagement helps us reach a wider audience and spread this message of unity and tolerance. And if you want to see more thought-provoking stories and discussions like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We believe in the power of storytelling to inspire change and foster understanding. Your support helps us continue to create content that matters. Click the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Let's keep the conversation going. What other stories or issues do you think we should explore? Let us know in the comments.